everyone, it's Meg and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. It has been quite a while on my channel since I have done a sit-down video, probably in a month at least maybe, and I took a bit of time off because I've been dealing with some health issues and I am hopefully starting to get a bit better. Like, I really hope it's going to kind of stay that way so I can film for you guys. But I'm back filming now. I'm going to try my best to just film as much as possible and kind of get back in a routine. I think I'm still going to be doing one video a week, maybe, we'll see, maybe 2 videos. I do want to get back on my 2 video schedule at some point very soon, but for the time being I think I am sticking to 1 video a week. But I thought to ease myself back into these sit down videos I would do a tag that I've done for the past 2 years. I really enjoy it, which is obviously the mid-year freakout tag, which is basically about your reading for the year so far and what you're going to read in your plans for the rest of the year. So I'm super excited to do this tag. I love doing tags and I love doing this one in particular. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Question number 1 is your favourite book that you have read of the year so far, and for 2021 it obviously has to be The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. I freaking adored this book so much. Oh my god. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love this book. Like, if you can see all my tabs, you can't even see my annotations, but like, this book, man, this book is great. I'm obviously a very big Pride and Prejudice fan, and this follows Mary Bennet, and she is such an undermined character, and this just brings everything to life. And if you are a Pride and Prejudice fan like me, I honestly think you will adore this book. It is so wonderful and special and heartwarming, and just, you are rooting for Mary the whole time. I honestly, as soon as I finished this, I wanted to pick it back up and start reading it all over again because I adored it so much. And I do have a few vlogs, maybe about 2 vlogs on my channel from when I was reading this, so go and find those if you kind of want to hear my more in-depth thoughts on it. But yeah, I adored it, and it is an extremely obvious and necessary choice for this question. Question number 2 is the best sequel that you have read so far in 2021, and I have not read a sequel yet. I don't really read series, I tend to read standalones because I mainly read contemporary, so I haven't read a sequel, not for what I can see on my Goodreads anyway, so I have to pass on this question. But question number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but you want to, and that probably has to be my most recent book that came in the post, which is Still Life by Sarah Winman. I only got this the other day. It was released a couple of days ago from when I'm filming this video, and Sarah is an author I haven't talked about for a while on my channel, but she is one of my favourite authors. This is her latest book. I don't know much about it. I don't really care because I really enjoyed her works. Apart from Tin Man, that wasn't my favourite, but her other 2 books I adored. And I'm just excited to delve into this, and it's stunning. And like, I haven't showed this on a video, but look at those edges. Like, can we just appreciate that? But yes, stunning, stunning. Cannot wait to read this book. The next question is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and it has to be an obvious choice for me, and that is Laura Wood's new YA novel. And we don't know anything about this. There isn't a release date apart from the fact that we know it's being released in autumn supposedly, and there is no title, there is no cover, there is nothing. All we know is that it is set in Edwardian England, and I love Laura and I love her work, so I know I will enjoy it, and I think it's going to be a bit different compared to her other YA novels. But honestly, I cannot wait. It should be no surprise if you're a regular watcher that, you know, Laura Wood's new book has to be on this list. So definitely my number 1 anticipated release for the rest of the year. The next question is your biggest disappointment, and I have 2 for this. One I haven't even finished, but I'm putting it on this list anyway because I really am not enjoying it. But the other book that I was disappointed by is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And I did not hate this book in any way, but I just did not click with it the way I was hoping to. I wasn't as invested and engaged with it because I'd heard so many good things about this book, and I feel like it's a book that's right up my alley because it's a book that deals with mental health, and I love reading mental health fiction. And yeah, I was just disappointed. It just wasn't for me, unfortunately. Obviously a lot of other people love it, which is great, but I just did not click with this book or vibe with it at all, which is very sad. So I did still enjoy it, but yeah, it was a disappointment for me. And then the second book I have not even finished yet. I have less than 100 pages left. I have been listening to the audiobook for a month at least, and that is Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. Like, yeah, I didn't have high hopes for this book in the first place, but I did start enjoying it, and then it just went downhill after like the first 100 pages for me. Like, I do not enjoy it. I've nearly finished it, like I said, so I don't know how it's going to end. The only reason why I'm sticking with this book is because I want to know how it's going to end. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't like the characters. I think they're all incredibly horrid and narcissistic and just really nasty to our main character Fanny. I just don't like them. So yeah, kind of disappointed, but obviously I love the majority of Jane Austen's other novels, but this is definitely one of my least favourite ones of her that I have read so far. Next we have the biggest surprise of the year so far, and for me that has to be Blood Moon by Lucy Cuthew. And this is a book I've had my eye on for a while, and I bought it last summer and then I read it a couple of months ago. And this book, I kind of knew I was hoping I'd enjoy it at any rate, because it's like a very much a feminist book and deals with kind of all those sorts of like feminist topics and that sort of thing. But this book just like took it to a whole other level that I was not expecting, and I was not mad about it. It was so much more like intense and serious and just nitty gritty than I thought it was going to be, and I feel like it is an absolutely excellent book. It is written in verse, which is also a plus. I flew through this in 2 days, which for me is a very fast amount of time to read a book in, and honestly I think so many people should read this book. It talks about sex and online shaming and kind of the effects of that, and especially how it affects women, as we are usually the people who are affected by these things. And honestly, I think everybody should read it, whether you are a teenager, if you're an adult, if you are male, female, or somewhere in between. I honestly think everybody should read this book because it is incredibly important and definitely left a mark on me when I finished reading it. The next question is your favourite new author, whether it is a debut author or an author that is new to you. And I honestly have quite a few. I couldn't pick. Like, I love obviously Janice Hadler with this book. If she ever writes anything in the future, I'm here for it. I also really enjoyed Lucy Cuthew's book. I think she's writing a second one at the moment from what I gather, but I would definitely be reading whatever she picks up next. And a quick mention for Kevin Van Wyk, because I finished this book this morning and I adored it, and like I cannot wait to see what he comes out with next either. But a couple of these are, actually I think they're all debut authors actually from last year, but like obviously they're also new to me, so all of those authors I definitely cannot wait to see what they come out with next. The next question is your newest fictional crush, and I have actually answered this question for the past 2 years, but my heart is never in it. Like, I don't really get crushes on people, like fictional characters in books. It's just I just love like the friendships in it, or the people. Like, it's not a crush, it's just like, you know, we stand them, they are great. They are great characters even though they are not real. But yeah, I'm not going to answer this question this year because I just don't really have one. I just have characters that I really like, and that is about it for now because I obviously do not have an answer. Next question is your newest favourite character. And looking at the books around me, there's probably a couple I could choose from, but I do have to go for Mary in The Other Bennet Sister, because obviously I've read Pride and Prejudice and I've read a number of other Pride and Prejudice retellings, but I just adore Mary so much. Where she is at the beginning of the book and where she is by the end of the book is just so incredible, and the growth, and you'll just cheer for her all along. It just shines such a different light on this character that you know from the traditional story, and I love that she gets her own story, so we love that. And I'm actually going to mention another one really quick, because even though this isn't a new character to me because she's been in this whole series basically, I want to mention Nick's mum from Heartstopper. She is a bit more prominent in this 4th book right here, couldn't think of the name of it then. And some of the things that she says, I've just tabbed. She's so supportive of Nick and of Nick and Charlie's relationship, and I just love that. And I've tabbed a few bits that she's done. It's just like, I just love her. We stan her. We stan Nick's mum. She's great, and obviously I just had to mention her as well. The next question is a book that made you cry, and I don't cry at books. I maybe got quite emotional at books at times, but I have never cried at a book. The book that probably got me most like emotional, potentially, as in like kind of sad but on the edge of my seat at the same time, was Blood Moon. I got a bit emotional at that, but like generally, no, I don't, books that make me cry, it takes a lot to make me cry, so maybe I'll find a book one day that does that. For the moment, I have not. The next question is a book that made you happy, and obviously I could pick The Other Bennett Sister because it just fits so many categories, but I'm not going to for this one, even though it did make me incredibly happy. I am going to choose Date Me, Bryson Keller by Kevin Van Wy. Like I said before, I actually finished this morning from when I filmed this video. I literally just sat in the garden for 2 hours and finished it, and oh my god, I love this book so much. I adore Kai, our main character. I adore Bryson. I enjoy both of them together, and just I love this book. It is very emotional at the same time, kind of towards the second half of the book, and it deals with some topics that I wasn't anticipated going into the book, but I'm not bad about them because I feel like they're very important topics to discuss. But this book just brought me so much joy. There's so many adorable moments. I should have like annotated it more than I did, but it will be a book that I know I can go back to when I want a bit of pick me up. It just honestly brought me so much joy, and I cannot recommend this book enough. If you have not picked it up already, if you want something to put a smile on your face, I can guarantee that this definitely will. The next question is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received, and I was trying to think about this, and I think it might have to be Still Life by Sarah Whitman, because obviously I showed you those sprayed edges before. I will show you again because they are absolutely stunning, and this is the cover. Like, can we just talk about that? It's so beautiful, and then it has gorgeous end papers. I have a feeling this is set in Florence. Is that right? I don't even know. I don't even know where it's set. I haven't read it for a while. Oh yes, it is. It is set in Florence. And then you take the dust jacket off, and there's a parrot there, and then there's a beautiful spine that's all gold, and yeah, it is just gorgeous. I've got another or a couple more stenciled books this year, and I very much enjoy them, but this is probably the prettiest one that I have so far, and I hopefully plan that it's going to be just as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. Second to last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And honestly, I think I just said this last year, the majority of the books on my physical TBR, because I have quite a few, to say the least. I would like to read the majority, or if not all, of my non-fiction books, which is only 2, so it's not that many. My current non-fiction, which is Brave New Girl by Chloe Brotheridge, I hopefully will have that done very soon, but the other 2 non-fiction books I have are Women Don't Know You Pretty by Florence Given, and Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rainey Edo-Lodge. These are my 2 non-fictions that I have so far. I have loads so far. I have a Theatre for Dreamers by Polly Sampson, I have Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett, and I would love to get my poetry collection down, which is growing quite rapidly at the moment, so I have loads. Like, honestly, if I could just, you know, read all of my physical TBR, that'd be amazing. Won't happen, but you know, I'm gonna give it a go anyway and see what happens. But I would also like to get my poetry books down, like I said, because I'm trying to read more poetry this year and it's not going so well so far, but we're gonna, you know, we're gonna go on, we're gonna keep going, and hopefully I will kind of get a bit more and narrow this down by the end of the year. And the last question is your favourite book to film adaptation you've seen this year, and I think I've only seen one. I'm not very good at watching films, not my thing, but obviously this is a very popular book series and it's also been made to a film series and Netflix, and obviously the last book came out and I think it might be my favourite film adaptation of this series yet, and that is Always and Forever, Lara Jean. So it's the To All the Boys I Loved Before, the last film, and oh my god, I think it might be my favourite out of the 3. I just adored it so much. I kind of loved the growth of the characters. I just loved everything about it. I think it's a very good film adaptation because I'm somebody who very much likes the adaptation to be pretty much accurate, near enough to the book, and yeah, I just enjoyed it. It was so much fun, so joyous, so wonderful and romantic, and just absolutely gorgeous. So those are all of the questions and all of my reading updates and plans from the beginning of the year and for the rest of the year. I had a lot of fun doing this video. I have missed doing sit down videos. I sometimes don't always enjoy them as much as vlogging, but because I haven't done this in such a long time, it's really nice to be back. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have done this tag this year to leave your links in the description, because I would love to go and watch them and kind of see what your reading plans are for the rest of the year and kind of how your reading has gone this year so far. And also let me know your favourite book that you have read this year so far, because I would love to know as always. It's so fun seeing kind of everybody's reading progress and where they're up to at the moment. And yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's nice to be sitting back down, and if you ever have any sit down video requests, please let me know in the comments and I will make sure to do them for you, because I am ready to get back to doing sit down ones, and I hope you are excited for that. If you guys like this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, as it really does help me out. And if you would like to see more bookish videos from me, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be noted every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave links to my social media along with the links to my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys if you would like to see more bookish content that you will not find on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!